Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be an intriguing matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Houston Texans. With that, let's head over to the space city of Houston. Standing by at NRG Stadium, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. The scene from a few moments ago, this crowd enthusiastically cheering on their Texans as they emerge from the locker room. And we're just about ready for football as the Texans get set to match up with the New Orleans Saints. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With me, as always, Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at a matchup like this. It's really the running backs that may take center stage here today.
And in today's football, they're still valuable, not just as runners, but guys who can catch the ball as well. It's really the number of touches that determines things these days.
Here's a punter, Thomas Morstead, to get this one started. And off we go on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading them out is their quarterback, the former 12th overall pick. Some refer to him as the natural, Deshaun Watson.
Might have won back-to-back Heisman trophies if the ballot had come after the national championship games that he and Clemson played against Alabama. But when you watch him on the field, you realize why coordinators and head coaches want to bend their offense to his talents, because when he's got the ball in his hands, he can be magical at times.
They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Demario Davis there on the stop. And let's look here at the Houston offense.
Will Fuller is one of the young flyers in the NFL and gets to top speed in just a couple of steps. So everyone has to respect the deep game because he'll blow past people in a hurry. But what that does is leaves open space underneath. He can take the short pass, turn it into a bigger gain because he makes people miss. If he takes care of his hands and doesn't drop a pass or two in a game, he's going to be one of the best receivers in the league.
Watson to throw on 3rd and 1. And this one is incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Leckler now on as he'll punt this away. Here's Ginn. And call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their veteran quarterback, the former Purdue Boilermaker. It's Drew Brees.
Total relentlessness of consistency. Almost like a machine. If you watch him in practice after every throw, he resets his feet, visualizes all the other options on a play. So if he has to do it in a game, it's already there, has the muscle memory. I started calling him AI for artificial intelligence. Whatever a defense does during a game, he absorbs it and then uses it against them as the game moves on.
So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at the 20. They go play action for Ingram. Now Brees. And it's hauled in by Ben Watson. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Ready.
Now a play fake here on first down. And Watson has it right side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that.
You like
yeah,
that?
yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
Ready.
They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Tackle made by Whitney Merciless. And a very good offensive unit here. One of the reasons they're so good is running back Mark Ingram.
Took a little while for him to find his footing when he got into the league, but the former Heisman Trophy winner has it now, and has really upped his pass receiving potential. A nice player.
Now Breeze throwing on second down. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help, because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how you guys gonna come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You know, you were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. The defensive crew for the Texans. Here's a look.
After a while, when you talk about J.J. Watt, you tend to run out of superlatives because he's just about done everything that a player can do in the league. NFL Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. Leads his team each and every game that he plays in. But the best part about him to me, besides the absolute physical talent, is that he elevates everyone else's game. He plays so well, plays so hard, that if you don't try to reach that and match that around him, it becomes obvious. So I think he elevates his team in that way.
On second down, here's Breeze. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. The target that time, Michael Thomas. Third down here.
I don't think either one of us is surprised about who they just targeted on that one. I mean, they're going to try and get to him as much as possible. Off to a nice start, but unable to haul that one in.
Yeah, already looked his way a couple of times on this opening drive. Can't connect there. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Jadeveon Clowney in there to drop him for a 4-yard loss, and it'll be 4th down.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. On 4th down, off goes Drew Brees, and on comes the Saints kicker Will Lutz for the field goal attempt. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. And Lutz's kick is good. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead.
So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This will be taken in at the 1. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here.
They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 26. Watson. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, 2nd down. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Out of the gun, Watson. And he finds his man, Griffin. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Now that's absolutely frustrating for a defender. Had a chance to get him on the ground before he got to the sideline, but what great vision and understanding where he is on the field as he headed for the marker and picked up the first down.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Offense.
Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
The false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. After the penalty, it's Miller. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. So we're through a quarter here on Thanksgiving Day. 3-0 is our score. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Now a handoff to Miller. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime. A shotgun snap for Watson. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Here's Shane Leckler now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
The drive starts here with a carry by Ingram, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's Breeze. Throwing the comeback route. He's got the hook up to Thomas. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Breeze on the hook up to Thomas for the New Orleans first.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Breeze hands to Ingram, and he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Kamara. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Breeze going to try and throw on 3rd down. That's complete to Meredith. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a 1st down.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar.
Circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
Here we go.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 48-yard line.
Ready.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. The tackle that time by Zach Cunningham. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
Breeze to throw on 2nd down. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Breeze now on 1st down. The catch made over the middle by Ginn. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. Breeze going to come up here, 1st and 10, and he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. Breeze to throw again. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Now Breeze again. And his throw here is incomplete. He couldn't get the hook up there that time with Thomas, and it's 3rd down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete.
Well, this drive, they're a perfect 2 of 2 on third down conversions, but they need a full 10 yards here. Again, they'll throw with Breeze. Looking again for Thomas, this time complete. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. And Lutz puts this one through. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
You sound like you're going negative on me, partner.
I was.
It sounds like you're thinking the 3 is just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So.
Well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Out comes a Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
A run by Foreman to start the drive. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. Now before the second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. Play action for Miller. Now Watson going deep for Hopkins. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's third. Well, earlier in the quarter when the defense was keying on the run, you said offensively they need to open things up, take some shots downfield. Didn't work there, but they did it.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune now. I still think it's the right play because when you take those shots downfield, you open the eyes of the defense to what you could do to them, and that may open some things up for you offensively.
To throw is Watson. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here.
All right, need you to check my eyes here. This entire unit defensively, I think, has looked really strong in the first half, especially in the secondary. They've been cohesive, fast to the football, and we just saw another example arriving there to help knock that one away.
Here's Shane Leckler now as he's on to punt for Houston. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Oh, what a move.
That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has been a hard-hitting affair to this point, and you gotta expect we'll see more of the same in the second half. And to bring the action your way, let's get it right back out to Brandon Gott.
Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. And here's Lewis. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. They go screen. This is Ingram. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a 2nd and long. Shotgun now for Breeze. That's caught by Meredith right side. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They'll wind up getting 10 back there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and 5. The Saints on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Here's Breeze. Again has it complete. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. DeAndre Hopkins and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. He sort of just keeps chipping away at this defense. Hasn't had a spectacular game, but here in the third quarter, that they've known all game long that he's there.
He's the type of guy that frustrates you if you're playing defense, because when you think you've taken away something or you think you've got him in check, he comes up with another catch, the chains move, or he finds a way to get it to the end zone. He's that guy that drives you crazy, and offenses love him.
He's hoping to drive him more crazy here coming up. From his goal line here, Watson. That's complete over the middle to Anderson. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Watson now going to run the option right. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Watson on 3rd down, and that is incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Here's Shane Leckler now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
So Bree's going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at about the 32. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. And his throw is incomplete. Thomas, the intended target. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. On the counter, Ingram. And takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The Saints on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Breeze. He is going to find Hill here. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on 3rd down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Breeze now
5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. They go play action for Ingram. Now Breeze. Wide open receiver complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They run. It's Mark Ingram. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On 2nd down, here's Breeze. Completes this one to Meredith. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. The Saints on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll try to run for the first with Ingram. And he'll be taken down at the 34. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard. We're on to the 4th here on Thanksgiving Day. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Houston, it's the Saints. They'll be looking to expand their lead here. They've got the football as we start the 4th. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And Lutz's kick is good. And that will make our score 9-0. Same story continues. He's the only one that scored for them, their kicker, with all the points.
So now when we hear the chants of MVP, MVP, they're definitely aimed at him because he has been the only guy who's put points on the board in this game.
Kickers are always either the hero or the GOAT. So far, he's definitely the hero. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. And now out comes Houston. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 22. A shotgun snap for Watson. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Pass interference, defense.
This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
First down.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
Watson on first down. Dumps it complete to Miller. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and it'll bring up a second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now Watson. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
3rd and 2. Watson setting up the screen for Miller. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback, because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And they are on the board. It's now 9-3. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3 and out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
Fairbairn now, following the made field goal, he'll send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a 1-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
They go play action here on first down. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Whitney merciless. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down.
Breeze to throw on second down. And the pressure gets to him again. Christian Covington in there to get him. And this pass rush strong now. That's sacks on back-to-back plays.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Third and long now after the sack of Breeze, and the Saints up against it here. From the gun, it's Breeze. And this is going to be incomplete.
He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of a story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what'd you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And here comes the Texans now. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at the 34. Out of the gun, Watson, and nearly picked off there, and it would have been a great time for their first pick. Instead, it's 2nd down.
I guess they're in a situation now, 4th quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted, and if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a 1st down there. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. 1st down, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, you have to like the play calling because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
Watson now perfect since the 2nd half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Watson. Buying time to his left. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's 2nd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
To throw on 2nd is Watson. Over the middle, that's caught by Miller. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
The Texans on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This time it's 3rd and 3. Here's Watson, operating from the gun. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Griffin. They stop with only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Partner, they're less than 2 minutes ago in the game, which means that this challenge was initiated by the fellas in New York.
And if you're the coach, you're thinking, thank you, New York. 1st down now, but the clock continues to move. He's back to throw. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. He'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
It makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They'll look to throw. His throw incomplete. He was looking there for Bruce Ellington, and it's 3rd down. 3rd and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure, and if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback, and then make sure you blanket the field.
Back to throw. He finds his target, Fuller. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Back to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. This secondary as a unit, they've worked really well together in this one, especially late.
A lot of cohesiveness, a lot of communication, and some great athleticism. They're playing so well now, a nickname is sure to follow. They're going to have to name this whole unit soon.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. Now it's Watson. Eluding the... And he is in as they have tied it late here in the final minute of the 4th quarter. Now they can boot it through on the always important extra point, and then their defense has to hold up their end of the bargain.
And there's something that you've pointed out in numerous games that we've worked. Okay, the excitement's going on. Everyone's celebrating over there. Who's calling up the defense to make sure they're focused because they still have some work to do?
Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. A very important extra point there, up and good. And that is going to put them on top by a point, and it sets us up for quite a finish. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. Fairbairn now to kick this one away.
And here's Lewis. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another fourth-quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet.
Ready.
Back to throw, Brees. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Brees to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Hill. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. To throw is Brees. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaunt alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout, and now we're set to get going. Brees gives it up to Ingram. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And a solid run down inside the 30. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. And they are able to spike this in time. And that is going to set up a field goal try that one way or the other will decide this football game. So it all rests now on the right leg of Will Lutz. 3 for 3 so far, and a 4th would win it. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. So it all rests now on the right leg of Will Lutz. 3 for 3 so far, and a 4th would win it. And this one is right down Broadway. And they take the lead here by 2, 12-10. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. So long from Houston.